Alright, I got some bad news with Omar the Miata. It was confirmed that my slave cylinder was leaking and all of my clutch fluid just dumped out. Alright, so I bought this car to do all the maintenance myself. I was hoping that I wouldn't run into stuff this fast, but things do happen. Luckily for me, I was able to get the car in the garage and parked before anything even indicated that there was an issue with the slave cylinder. And then I noticed that I had like a leak under the car, so I like felt it and it wasn't like water. So I was like, what kind of fluid is leaking? So I checked everything and I didn't even realize because the clutch fluid is such a small little reservoir. I wasn't really familiar with that. So I looked at my manual. Sure enough, I came out here and it was bone dry. So after doing some research, I just decided to sit in the car and push the clutch pedal in, and it just flopped right to the floor, and there's like no resistance at all anymore. So I was like, well, glad I got it in the garage and this didn't happen while I was out driving, so definitely thankful for that. Oh, by the way, this channel that I've created is not always going to be like a how-to video. It's kind of following my journey. For a while there, I was doing a lot of modifications and just modifying things on my Mazda 3, and I've pretty much done all the modifications that I could think of to do on it right now. So now it's kind of just about maintenance, and then now I'm going to be working on my Miata for a little bit. And yeah, so if you just watch one of my videos but have never watched some of my other videos, you know, you might not understand what's going on. So something I'm running into now is a problem I mentioned in one of my previous videos, is my wheel lock key broke, so I can't get my wheel locks off. And of course the slave cylinder and what I need to get to fix this issue I'm having with the clutch is behind one of the wheels that has a wheel lock on it. So I'm going to show you how I got it off one of my other wheels, and hopefully it works on this wheel. Alright, so in one of my other videos I showed, look at my wheel lock key. This thing was destroyed. So I've got the wheel lock here. I've tried over and over again, and this thing just slips off of it at this point. So I figured out that a 3/4 inch socket fits as tight as you can get it. So here's the one that I used the first time, and as you can see, the lock is still stuck in it because now I can't get it out, which is kind of the point. It has to fit so tight that it doesn't slide. So I bought one, and then you put it up on here, and then you just hammer it on. Alright, so now that it's on there, voila, and that's how you get a wheel lock off your car. And I didn't show you before I hammered it on there, but it's recommended to get the one that have the 12 teeth on the inside, so there's more to grab onto this. But if you're ever stuck with a wheel lock on there, that's how you get it off. And if you're somewhat new to cars like me, like other than just doing basic things like intake, exhaust, I'm learning what a lot of these parts are. So here's what, like the master cylinder it's called. It's located right here within the engine bay. Right here. This line goes all the way up and around to the other side, and then it connects down in the passenger wheel well, and it connects to the side of the clutch. So it's responsible for, like when you press in the clutch pedal, it engages it. It was just totally empty. So I knew something was wrong at that point. So I figured out, and that's when I pressed down the clutch pedal and noticed that it was just no resistance. So, and now that I'm doing this, I'm seeing that Looks like there's actually some fluid down underneath this, so I'm glad I'm replacing this at the same time, which is what was recommended. It was recommended that you do the slave cylinder and the master cylinder at the same time. And the slave cylinder is what's connected to the clutch. Okay, so I don't have the parts yet. I don't have the master cylinder. I don't have the slave cylinder. And I don't have the new braided steel line, or I think that's what it's called, that's going to connect the master cylinder to the slave cylinder. So I'll definitely document that when I do it. I'll show you how it works out for me. I've never bled brakes, I've never bled a clutch line, so I'll be finding out how that goes as I do it. But I did also receive something that I can work on in the meantime, and that is my frame rails. They came today, so I'm going to jack the car up. I've got to take the seats out, and then I'll drill from underneath and then connect it with the bolts. Then I also received my aftermarket air intake, or I shouldn't say air intake, just a higher performing filter, because the one I had was pretty dirty. And then I bought the equipment I'm going to need for sanding down and eliminating some of the small rust spots on the bottom. This part here, it's hard to see because of the shadow, but right where my finger is, it's all black, and all the rust is where it's black. So that will make painting it a lot easier. I don't have to worry about matching colors. I'm just going to buy some black spray paint, and it's not going to look perfect, but I'm not going for the show car look. I'm just restoring it, trying to get this thing to last a long time. Got these from Flying Miata's website, as you can see, FM. It's not real heavy, but it's definitely, you can tell it's enough to make it feel that it'll be sturdier from underneath for sure. And I guess over the years they've added more mounting points than they had in the past. So, you know, the reviews say this makes the car feel a lot like newer and not so rattly. So that was the first thing I noticed when I test drove this, is just kind of how unsteady and rattly it feels. So this is called a sbfilters.com Breathe Easy, but I mean, it's like a K&N basically. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a K&N or a rebranded. Alright, and that is it for today's video. Give it a like if you thought it was a cool video. Give it a dislike if it sucked. No. I'm trying to come up with some good content here, just documenting what's going on with both of these cars. And I took Jerome, the Mazda 3, for like an hour-and-a-half road trip yesterday, and with my snow tires on, I just put my snow tires on. I've got the old ones here. I'm going to be repainting those just because they got all kind of nicked up. I don't think I put enough coats on. But I took a road trip, and I got over 40 miles per gallon doing about 70 miles an hour. So that car is insane for gas mileage. If you're looking for a car with good gas mileage, definitely consider a Mazda 3. Alright, my next video will most likely be fixing my slave and master cylinders. See you next time. So like I said, I put my winter tires on, and yeah, here they are. They're the Michelin X Ice 3s. I've had these for a long time because I only use them for obviously winter time, and these things handle so well, and my gas mileage got better, which is odd. So I think these factory tires that come on the Mazda 3s do not help gas mileage or road noise.